Hey there everyone, this is Jeff Perkins with JD Cutlery putting together a quick video on the new ZT0762. This is a very different knife than quite a few that are out there as far as the ZT lineup goes. The only one that is fairly similar in design would be the ZT707. Or 0707, sorry about that, in the fact that it also has the double detent setup that the 762 has. I went ahead and took one apart just to give you guys an idea of all the different components that go into this guy. There are quite a few different components. I did leave the other carbon fiber scale downstairs. But before we go through all the different components, let's go ahead and hit the basic specs on the knife. So the blade length on this one is 3.4 inches, and it is made of CPM 20 CV. Blade finish has stonewash flats and satin grinds. Blade thickness is 0.121 inches. Closed length is 4.75 inches. The handle material is carbon fiber, and it does have the steel liner as well as titanium liner and lock bar. Overall length on this one is 8.1 inches. And the weight comes in at 2.9 ounces. Now there are a couple different things going on here. Like I mentioned before, it's very similar to the 707 in the fact that you've got a detent on both sides. There's the detent on the lock bar and the detent on the other side of the knife. So this is kind of one of their new designs. It does make for a consistent deployment, although it creates more tension on that blade so the blade doesn't just drop back into the handle. Now, will it drop back into the handle after a lot of use and that type of thing? It's possible. I just don't know yet because this knife, of course, is brand new to us. So that's kind of one of the different things that we're seeing with this is it is that double detent system. I want to go ahead and go through the basics of the knife real quick. Some of the different things that you're going to notice right off the top that you may or may not like. Number one, pocket clip does not match the lock bar or the titanium insert in color on any of the knives. This knife does have titanium barrel spacers as well as a lanyard pin, so that's all good. I do like the carbon fiber cutouts that they have going on. Pretty cool looking there. And you've got the nice cutout. You can see the titanium that is part of this lock bar. And then on the other side, you have the titanium overlaid over top of this steel double detent liner. All of your screws are steel. Centering. 4 out of the 7 of these that I got were not centered. So don't be surprised if you get one of these and the blade is not centered. Gonna be a fact of life on this one. Some were, some weren't. We'll have to wait and see what they look like when I get them back together. So centering was very inconsistent. One of the things I do not like about this knife, that flipper tab is hard on the finger. It's pointy, and because of the double detent, it requires a decent amount of pressure. For those of you that like a stiff detent, this knife is for you, but that pointy top piece is not the best in my opinion. Now, I've already started looking at a number of different modifications that I will be doing on these knives. One thing to look at is right now there's no way to open this other than the deployment there or by using a thumb flip. Thumb flip does not hurt on that tab, but of course is a little bit awkward as you pull it out of your pocket and then you have to pop it with your thumb. I have already started I've already completed one blade that has not a cut all the way through, but I did put a good line that's got a nice crisp edge and then faded through so that you can grab it with that fingernail and pew, pop it right out. We are going to call that my flick modification, and that will be available on a number of these. Now, one thing that I really usually love on flipper tabs is that nice hollow out skeletized look. Unfortunately on this one I would love to delete this thing, but if I delete that I'm gonna have a problem with that big hole that's left in its place. So I will be trying to round this down a little bit, and I might very well go ahead and delete one of these tabs on at least one of them that I put the flip action in. I'm probably going to go ahead and mill out a hole all the way through in some kind of odd shape through one or two of these blades so you can see what it looks like with a hole milled through it. I did like the idea of that sharp line with the kind of evened out swedge going up through it that you catch a nail in, because then you're not going all the way through the blade, not really compromising the strength of the blade or anything like that. That being said, I don't know that it's really going to compromise it very much, so I'm going to go ahead and try both avenues on it. So, very attractive looking knife. The carbon fiber is done nicely. It's a good quality carbon fiber, milled out. I really like those extra mill marks in the back, in between the spacers. Got a nice little swedge cut out on both sides here. And the lock bar insert seems to be really nice quality. It is a good chunk of titanium, and it goes all the way through. That's what you're seeing through the handle, is that little piece of blue there. It is held in place by 3 screws that are underneath the pocket clip. The pocket clip is not one of those 3 screws. It's 3 separate screws that go into these 3 holes, and then one of the barrel spacers goes through here to hold it in position nicely. So this part is very good. Really don't see any issues with that. There's your detent on the lock bar. This is your second detent, which when you have it all together, it's like this. You have your carbon fiber. Yeah, this is the wrong side of the handle. Carbon fiber goes here, blue here, steel on the other side, your detent shooting up through it. So it does give you a cool effect, and it allows them to put that double detent in there. Standard bearings on the knife. One side where you're directly on carbon fiber, they do have a washer. The other side, the bearing is running directly on the steel bar. There is quite a bit of extra material going into the handle on the barrel spacers, which is nice, and I do believe these are titanium, so they should color up nicely. And then just one of your standard pivots. So that's really all the different components Looks like a 470 clip. Might be shaped a little bit differently, but it is your standard pressed titanium clip. There are a couple different modders out there that are making some really nice clips. Definitely look into that. I might start doing a little bit of that as well. But these are the main components of the knife. All your steel screws, pretty much standard as far as the hardware goes. Like I said, overall, very nice looking knife. Biggest faux pas I see on it, and I usually don't see many faux pas with the ZTs, is this thing really gets hard on the finger. I've been flipping it for a number of hours and my finger's a little sore. So I'm gonna try modding that by rounding it down a little bit. Like I said, I will definitely, I've already done one blade up with that finger flick mod. Because I've done the finger flip mod, it will be done in an acid stone wash and sharpened up on the wicked edge. I should have that one and a few others available within probably the next 5 days. Of course, I wanted to come home and just jam on it and get it taken care of, but life gets away from us sometimes and there's other things to do. So these are all of the basic components of the knife. Designed pretty well, with the exception of the flipper. I do like that they put a lanyard pin back there. Definitely something that they thought about, which is nice, just because I really like lanyard. But this is the basic configuration of the knife. I will do up a couple that won't have any mods other than re-anodizing all the titanium, definitely buffing it all out, popping it. I might buff out those screws as well, and definitely buffing out the steel that's on the back side of the titanium insert, and really throwing quite a bit of different color at it. So I do expect that I'm going to be able to get some really nice different variations. I do have 7 of them in stock. I will post the standard blue if anybody's interested in that. Of course, with all the different modifications and changes I'll be making, the price will go up from the standard MAP pricing, which is $320 on this one. So I will go ahead and post one up with the blue finish at $320 until I get these started working on, and then from there we'll see what the different modifications are and what the additional cost is. Thank you for tuning in. Check out all the knives that we have in stock at www.jdcutlery.com, and we'll see you on the next one.